Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are. Welcome to our live stream, unedited, uncensored, no special effects, just the raw truth here, folks. We're talking about the St. Kitts citizenship by investment, what most people don't talk about. Okay. This is a deep dive, so we're going to give you a quick introduction and, of course, give you the details that many, let's say, sales pitches won't provide to you, or maybe more difficult to find online. This picturesque twin island nation of St. Kitts and Nevis is more than just a sun drenched paradise. For even 3 decades or more, it's also been the gold standard for citizenship by investment program, CBI. To be exact, this island has a 41-year history of citizenship based investment program. And basically, what it means is you donate or invest, and in return, they grant you citizenship, offering you a passport without the need for residency as a path to citizenship. That's just in a nutshell. Basically, they're offering a second passport or third passport or a dual citizenship for any international investors who are seeking this pathway. Yet, while the headlines trumpets its visa-free travel benefits and streamlined application, there are layers of nuances, risk, and opportunity that rarely receive the insight or spotlight that we are going to provide to you today. Obviously, the history of the St. Kitts and Nevis, it started the citizenship-based investment program so in 1984 after it gained independence from the United Kingdom. The program was designed to attract international investment without requiring investors to relocate or maintain physical presence in the islands. In 2009, the EU gave it visa-free travel to all its citizens, making the program even more valuable. If you're contemplating a second passport or actively comparing international investment options, this deep dive covers what most people don't talk about so you can make a truly informed decision today. There have been major changes announced or upcoming changes announced in June of 2025, the month that we're recording this live stream, regarding the St. Kitts and Nevis citizenship by investment program, which are basically game changers in the industry. First time ever that such policy changes are going to be implemented. There will be a residency requirement, and we will cover it in this article. And most likely, we're not talking about residency to citizenship. It's going to be potentially residency after citizenship, unlike many other programs around the world. Beyond the brochures and all the sales fluff, what is citizenship by investment, CBI? St. Kitts and Nevis launched a CBI back in 1984, as we said, making it the longest running initiative of its kind, especially in the Caribbean island. As you know, there's 5 other islands in the Caribbean that offer a similar program, but St. Kitts was the first one. In essence, the program allows foreigners and their families, including dependent and single siblings, parents, grandparents, and even sometimes adult children who are financially dependent, to obtain a citizenship in exchange for qualifying financial contribution to the country, St. Kitts and Nevis, either as a non-refundable donation to a government fund or an investment in an approved real estate project. Obviously, the allure of it is obvious: visa-free access, quick dual citizenship. You get free visa-free access to UK, Schengen, and close to 149 countries or plus. Tax advantages and the ability to live and work or retire in Caribbean or anywhere else. Because if you hold the citizenship, you don't need to live in the St. Kitts or Nevis. So you can hold it in your back pocket for those travel requirements or for future planning with the next generation. But what's beneath the surface today? And that's what we're covering today. The latest stats and trends is that there has been a surge in applicants in the fourth quarter of 2024. So St. Kitts Nevis Citizenship by Investment Unit, the CIU, which handles all these, the whole program from beginning to end, reported that there's a 169% increase in applications for their citizenship program last year from October 2024 to December 2000. So that's a positive sign. What are the lesser known realities? Okay, so we're going to go into what most people don't tell you. While the minimum investment for the Sustainable Growth Fund is often advertised as 250,000 US dollars for a single applicant, the real costs are also beyond just the headline numbers. Due diligence fees that in order for the government CIU unit to process, government processing charges, the legal costs, and sometimes even agent markups, as they may inflate the prices even further. Legal and agent fees, obviously, you've got to work with reputed companies that are approved by the government, right? So, for example, we work with approved developers on the island, so you're dealing directly with the island. We're not going to be an intermediary. Due diligence in St. Kitts, it's known to do a lot of in-depth checks and background checks for kids, the whole family. So their due diligence is a process. So you maybe have to be quite careful in case you have anything in your history. You better be upfront about it. Family add-ons, adding a spouse, dependent parents, or children increases both the investment and threshold, and potentially, of course, the due diligence fees, the passport citizenship fees, and maybe even the legal fees. Real estate options, well, it looks all rosy on the surface, but maybe it's not. Many applicants are drawn to the real estate option in many of the programs, not just St. Kitts and Nevis. Imagining a beachfront villa, an investment like that on the island. Well, what? That's kind of not the truth, to be honest with you. So there's resale restrictions on the islands up to even 7 years that you can't resell. Limited inventory. So most of these real estate programs for the CBI, even St. Kitts, are share-based hotel ownership rather than freehold villas. So not sure about you, but if I was investing in real estate, I'd be investing in real estate, not in some paper shares in a hotel that God knows what will be the value. You don't actually own land or a unit, right? So don't expect high yields. Don't expect liquidity. It's basically your ROI is the citizenship and the passport. Hence, we work with the largest developer on the island in expanding and modernizing the Robert L. Bradshaw International Airport on the island of St. Kitts and Nevis. This is a donation-based program, okay? So that means we're not going to give you some real estate pitch on this is great real estate. No, this is a donation-based program in the public benefit option under the CIU unit, which allows applicants to invest, basically donate in supporting the national infrastructure and development projects in the country, in return qualifying for investors for the citizenship. And this is an approved government project because literally it's the major airport on the island. Due diligence, unlike some passports for purchase stereotypes, St. Kitts Nevis maintains a robust due diligence process. Applications go through international vetting agencies such as Interpol checks, and cross-border screening. Rejected applicants would be because of criminal records, source of funds, or suspicious political ties, especially with politically exposed people. No guarantees. So agents might promise approval 100%, but the government retains full discretion. There's no refunds if you're denied, mainly for the processing fee. Because the way it works is you first pay the due diligence and processing fees. The government will take its time to get the due diligence done. Then they send you an invitation letter. So you're not going to lose the investment amount, just a small deposit to get the due diligence done. If they approve you and send you an invitation to donate or invest, then it's done. Then you invest and you get the citizenship. So the risk is minimal. Taxation in St. Kitts, well, it offers zero personal income tax, wealth tax, or inheritance tax, and capital gain tax. But before you kind of jump to the conclusions here, citizenship does not always mean tax residency. And moving assets can trigger reporting requirements in your original residence country. So U.S. citizens, no matter if you buy a St. Kitts Nevis citizenship, I mean, in terms of donating or investing to obtain one, you're still on the hook to pay the IRS for your taxes globally. It doesn't matter. St. Kitts Nevis, for example, would be just a backup option to having a dual citizenship or 3 citizenships, depending on where you're from. Changing tax status. So in order to become a tax resident in St. Kitts, you actually need to show proper ties, owning property or significant time. They won't tax you on any of your global income or financial activity. So what most of our clients do, they'll live in Malta or Europe or tax-friendly jurisdictions in Europe or Dubai or Panama, and then they will hold the Caribbean island citizenship, a residency there, citizenship here. The main advantage is that you will not be taxed additionally on any of your global income, capital gain, or inheritance tax, right? But let's see what's happening. What are the expert insights into what's really happening beyond the sales pitch and marketing? There's major changes coming to the CBI program for St. Kitts and Nevis and even the other Caribbean islands. And this is the key facts you need to know. As of this year, 2025, the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis announced during a radio interview this month, while we record this live session, that a residency clause will be part of a new law. He emphasized that this clause, along with biometrics, will be included in the law, which will be expected to pass within a few weeks or maybe a month or two. This declaration represents a significantly different policy shift to be passed within within weeks. This is a huge shift from the 1984 launch of this program, but this new policy shift is expected to be implemented soon in order to rectify and alleviate the mounting pressures and scrutiny from the US, EU, and the OECD in order to maintain St. Kitts visa-free access for its citizens, which is one of the key advantages and the foundation of the program when it was first launched. Keep in mind that all CBIs, meaning all Caribbean island offerings for citizenship by investment programs through donation investment, are on the hook now by the US and Europe to tighten up the regulations, eligibility, maintaining status, and to make it more robust. Despite the announcement's significance, it's a very significant announcement. Crucial details yet remain to be disclosed by the government. This is brand new, fresh off the press. The government has not specified the exact number of days of physical presence required by its existing or future citizens, whether the requirement will be annual or one time, or how it will be enforced. This lack of specificity has created uncertainty in the investment migration industry a little bit, leaving advisors and potential applicants to await the final legislation that will be passed by Parliament and the government. However, you need to be aware of it today. For St. Kitts and Nevis, potential other island programs, this means future and existing citizens may need to visit the island and meet residency requirements to apply, or maybe after citizenship to maintain their citizenship. Okay, so we got to wait for the details, but be ready for that. Why all this pressure on citizenship-based investment programs? What's going on, right? We need to understand, why is the US, why is Europe, why are they all kind of have their little microscopes on these islands, especially on St. Kitts and the other Caribbean islands. In June 2025, the announcement by St. Kitts and Nevis marks the culmination of mounting international pressures that intensified last year and this year. The US State Department's consideration of potential travel restrictions for CBI passport holders and the European Union's implementation of visa suspension mechanisms for countries with security concerned in the CBI program created an environment where maintaining the status quo became untenable. While specific residency requirements await final legislative language, the government has confirmed several key elements of the reform package. Mandatory biometric data for St. Kitts and Nevis which includes collecting fingerprint and facial recognition for all applicants. Enhanced interview requirements, this was implemented last year. Already implemented applicants age 16 and above will continue as part of the strengthened due diligence. The new legislation will establish a new legal framework for monitoring compliance and residency requirements through enforcement mechanism, and of course, those will be announced. The Citizenship Investment Units of St. Kitts, which transitioned to a statutory body on the island in October 2024, has been preparing for infrastructure changes. They've implemented the Saturn digital platform this April in 2025, which is like a fully digital real-time application tracking and application processing and submission platform, the first of its kind probably in the Caribbean islands and the CBI programs. So St. Kitts is definitely on the forefront of modernizing and strengthening its due diligence. So you do have to be expecting tougher due diligence by all the programs, and potentially a quick residency or biometric, maybe just a residency requirement after you become a citizen, potentially, because if they make it before you become a citizen, it will basically give them a disadvantage when compared to other programs. However, all the islands are on the hook. Keep in mind, Malta citizenship was cracked down by the EU. Many programs, Portugal citizenship has been extended to 10 years instead of 5. Well, it's being implemented, so later this year. What this all means is that the trend and the pattern and the public opinion of the voters who vote in the government is that citizenship has to be tougher, longer, or more robust due diligence. And that's why the pressure has been put on. So, whatever you're thinking of, it will not become cheaper, it will not become faster, and it will not become easier. How many times have I said that in all my other videos and live streams? None of the programs. Everything is becoming more difficult. Canada, US, New Zealand, processing times, investment amounts, due diligence, processing, maybe the timelines, right? You've got to be careful. And that's why we've got to consider the importance of long-term planning. St. Kitts and Nevis passport is a powerful tool, but it shouldn't replace a holistic global mobility or wealth plan. You can't just buy into a citizenship and say, oh, that's it. You need backup plans. Well, what if the CBI program changes? So you need a residency somewhere that could give you citizenship in the future while you hold the St. Kitts passport in your back pocket. Think about it. Family future, children born after your citizenship may not automatically qualify depending on evolving policies. But I have to give it to St. Kitts as an advantage. It is the only island which does not limit the generational passing on of citizenship to future generations of the original citizens. So if you buy it right now, up to 2, 3, 4, 5, unlimited number of generations can obtain that citizenship. Exit strategy. Can you really sell your CBI property? Is it an actual property you can sell? Of course not. So you got to be careful. And that's why we've tied up with the developer approved by the government who is modernizing the international airport in St. Kitts, allowing you to donate and qualify for investment programs. Because keep in mind, folks, St. Kitts, Nevis, and many Caribbean islands over the last few years, last year especially, have cracked down. So Grenada, Dominica, St. Kitts on underinvestment. So there's agencies that are underselling, offering little schemes of, investing less and obtaining that citizenship. Go on the St. Kitts website, see what the minimum 250,000 investment is. If you invest less than that, it could be scrutinized. And it happened last year in St. Kitts, where certain applicants underinvested because of the advice of the agencies they were working with, and the St. Kitts Nevis CIU unit audited them, and they had to pay the difference. Isn't that embarrassing? Yes, you want to avoid that. Let's look at some cool, interesting facts that you would not know about St. Kitts and Nevis. Commonwealth tuition discount. St. Kitts may qualify applicants, the citizens, for reduced tuition rates at universities in select Commonwealth countries around the world. A major advantage for long-term financial planning and education. An interesting fact, if you apply for UK programs, certain UK programs, you will be exempted from doing a language exam in English if you're a citizen of St. Kitts Nevis. Interesting one. Simplified admissions abroad. Holding a St. Kitts Nevis citizenship is obviously very important and helpful for many families who want to send their kids to international schools, and sometimes even in certain countries like Taiwan, for example. If you're not a dual citizen of another country, you cannot register your children in an international school in that jurisdiction. So that's a fun fact. Domestic access to reputable institutions in St. Kitts. Citizens can benefit from local tuition rates at institutions like Ross University School of Veterinary Medicine and Medical University of Americas, both based in St. Kitts. Yeah. reduced tuitions, free local education. Primary and secondary public education is free for citizens, with private and international school options also available on the island of St. Kitts Nevis. We already covered generational wealth and family security, no personal taxes, no capital gain, no wealth, no inheritance taxes, no crypto, whatever. Citizenship by descent, like I mentioned, future generations, unlimited by St. Kitts, can pass on the citizenship. Dual citizenship, you can have 10 passports. St. Kitts Nevis has no restrictions on it. Safe and smart, with political stability, low crime rates on this island, and a democratic government. This is definitely a political stable jurisdiction and country. And of course, no hassles. Unlike real estate options that carry development or resale risk, the public benefit option funds that we recommend to our clients, a government-backed infrastructure project like the one we mentioned regarding the airport, provides full transparency and no maintenance obligations. And reputation, St. Kitts is number one because it started first, so it has the most experience. It's got one of the best processing CIU, citizenship-based investment unit departments in the whole Caribbean island. So it is solid, and it's been the first one that has it. So you have over 40 years of experience of the island processing citizenship-based investment applicants. It's not new. Top rank efficiency in processing due diligence. They've won many awards and recognitions, but business-friendly jurisdiction. So it is a great business district, and hub. St. Kitts has a favorable company formation law and is part of the CARICOM, which is a union between all the Caribbean islands, over 15 members. And it's very strategic, and also with Latin America. Strong banking and privacy protection. You've got to enjoy the offshore banking, which can potentially provide you robust asset protection and privacy. Community integration and options. So it's an English-speaking country or island, so you don't need to worry about learning another language in case you want your kids to study at university there or go to public school. One day, maybe going there and spending some time there, or having your business registered there or a bank account. Everyone speaks English, right? So that's key. What are some of the recent updates and trends? Well, increased investment thresholds. This came last year as all of the Caribbean islands and their CBIs, the citizenship by investment programs, increased. This was July 2024. Focus on sustainable growth. So new investments are channeled towards renewable energy, healthcare, infrastructure, and not just tourism on the island. Digitalization, as I said, they've launched their brand new, fully digital, real-time application submission tracking processing platform, which is one of its kind. And there are, of course, things you got to watch out for when you apply. Unlicensed agents. There are many unauthorized consultants promising fast-tracked approvals. Always verify agent credentials with the government. Our office works directly with the single this developer on the island, which is one of the largest developers on the island of St. Kitts and Nevis, expanding and modernizing the international airport. So you will be directly in touch with them. We just handhold. That's it. You pay them, not us. Hidden costs, well, from document translation to apostles, costs not advertised can add up. So translations, attestations, basic stuff. Health checks, police checks, you get the drift. And of course, CBI programs are shaped by geopolitics and diplomacy. So what's true today may be gone in a year. And that's true with any program in the world. And I'm sure you've been watching and monitoring the changes around the world, from Europe, North America, and Southeast Asia, and even Australia and New Zealand. Reputation risk. You need to make sure the passport and citizenship you're investing in will maintain a good reputation globally. As time goes on, you've invested, you have it now. A proactive government like the St. Kitts and Nevis to make sure the pressure from Europe and US is alleviated and everyone is happy, so the value of the passport is held. Is it right for you? Key questions to ask. What are your primary goals? Global mobility, asset protection, tax planning, or maybe passing on to future generations, right? And I have clients even who are citizens of certain jurisdictions, and maybe their children have to go for military school, but they want to get a dual citizenship and prevent that from happening. So they would buy the passport or donate to the government to obtain the citizenship. So whatever it is, everyone has their, or register your children in Taiwan for international school. So whatever it is, St. Kitts and Nevis, you've got to have your primary goals and objectives in place. Are you prepared for the due diligence process? A lot of documentation, but we'll help you through it. Do you understand the ongoing obligations, renewal timelines, and fees? Passport renewals, right? How does this fit into your broader wealth and lifestyle strategy, right? Don't think about just this week or next month. Think about next year. Think about 5 years from now. Think about 10 years from now. And think about your grandchildren, right? And their children. St. Kitts and Nevis continues to refine the citizenship by investment programs globally, maintaining its reputation as a pioneer in the field, because literally they were a pioneer in the field. They started the damn program. The real benefits of a second passport may be significant, but they're never as simple as just the glossy brochures you see online. Digging into the realities, costs, risks, shifting policies, long-term implications can help ensure your investment delivers the peace of mind, flexibility, and protection of your investment you're seeking. A well-advised applicant like yourself approaches the process with open eyes and willingness to seek out the details that most people overlook or most salespeople will not tell you. If you do, you'll be well placed. And as long as you do your homework or you're advised correctly, you'll be well placed to leverage all the St. Kitts and Nevis citizenship benefits and advantages can offer you, no matter where you're from. Today, in a complex and ever evolving future, and in the immigration and investment business migration world, you've got to be careful. You've got to be doing your homework. And that's what we're here for, to educate you, to guide you, and point you in the right direction. Okay, folks? Of course, there's a lot more where that came from. If you have any questions, reach out to us. We'll be happy to send you further details. And of course, if you have any questions, we're here every Thursday live on our YouTube channel right now, like this, which is posted after this live stream on our YouTube channel as well. So you can fast forward, slow motion, whatever. The transcripts are available. We talk about all different kinds of programs, from Panama to Dubai to Canada to New Zealand to US, and we're happy to assist you. Vilas Desai, an audience member right now, says, good morning, Reza. Some people mentioning IRCC, which is the Canadian Government Immigration Department, may take over 12 months after getting a response 3 months back from my team on personal contact details and addresses. I don't want to believe them. This is SUV submitted on December 12th under priority. Vilas Desai, so the IRCC is not doing anything right now. So it's very low processing. You can expect the processing to restart in the second half of this year, maybe by Q3. Okay. So right now they're not doing anything. So you cannot base or judge the future based on what's happened in the last 6 to 8 months. Okay. This is just something that a trend with Canadian immigration, especially the startup visa program and other programs. I mean, people have been stuck for forever. Okay. Folks, thank you for joining in. We're here every Thursday, 11 a.m. North America Eastern Standard Time. If you have questions, anything like that, if you have comments, we're happy to obviously answer them and discuss them with you in our live stream. During the rest of the week, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you're updated on new videos, new policy changes, like what happened, just the declaration from the Portuguese government recently, right? Everything that changes, whether it's the citizenship-based investment programs in the Caribbean islands, whether it's Canadian immigration, whether it's Panama or Italy, all these we cover. We cover more than 20 programs around the world and 20 different jurisdictions, whether it's for tax planning, protection of your assets, your children's education, or holding that dual or third or fourth or fifth citizenship, just in case, because you are aware that universal taxation is coming. like France has tabled in the past year, to tax all its citizens around the world, no matter where they live, as long as they hold a French passport. And that's why you need to plan ahead for your family, for your children, and for your future generational wealth protection strategies. Take care, folks. And remember, we're here next week again. Have a good one. Bye bye now.